last week in my market update, I said that this week I would talk about some of the economic factors we're facing right now and how it may impact the housing community. So you know what? I'm keeping true to my promise. That's what I'm talking about today. Stick around. Hi, welcome back. My name's Joe Brown. I'm a realtor with Century 21, List with Begans, located in South Tampa. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Hey, as you can see, I'm wearing my Lightning shirt. Okay, listen, I know it's lame. I'm wearing last year's shirt, but the Lightning are one game from advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals again for the third year in a row. So exciting times. Let's go Bolts. I do want to remind people I do have different guides, if you're interested in them, on the home buying guide, the home selling guide, and also the educated move approach, which I use when helping people sell their homes and find a new home. So if you're interested in any of those guides, just shoot me an email and I'll get those to you. So let's talk just in general. So listen, if you really like economics and talk about economics, you may enjoy this. And if you're an economics professor, you may say, man, that guy's an idiot. Or if you're just trying to figure out what's going on and how it's going to affect you, and you're hoping to buy a home or sell a home, how's it going to affect you, right? So that's what this episode is about. So if I've helped you, I appreciate comments. Let me know. If you still have questions, let me know. So let's just talk, first of all, about inflation. What is inflation? Well, inflation is really based on the Consumer Price Index. And this is a survey that's done quite often, at least monthly, of all different types. I think there are 1,000 different types of goods that they track all across the country. And they check to see how much those items cost over time. Well, food item, year over year, from March of 21 to March of 22, food items are about 10% higher than last year. You know what's really high? That's right. You feel it every time you go to fill up your car. Fuel oils, right? So gasoline itself is up about 50% year over year. I really feel bad for the people that live up north and have fuel to heat their homes. That fuel price is up over 100% year over year. Thank God we live in Florida where we don't have to deal with snow. Well, back when I was in high school we did, but that was for one day, one morning. A lot of the different items are just up 1% or 2% year over year. But based on how the price increases, right, that's the inflation. Are things getting more expensive? And they become more expensive because of the law of supply and demand. When supply is low and demand is high, it drives the price up. And again, I know you're getting tired of hearing this, but it's my analogy of sunglasses. If I only have 5 pairs of sunglasses and I have 20 people that want sunglasses, there's going to be a bidding war. And I will sell my sunglasses to the people that want to pay me the most for my sunglasses. Whereas if I have 100 pairs of sunglasses and I only have 5 people that want sunglasses, I will sell them for what they want to give me for them, right? So that's the law of supply and demand. Well, you've heard all over the news we have supply chain issues. Whether that's cars, by the way, cars are up almost 20% year over year. So we have supply chain issues. So across the board, we have a lack of supply. We still have demand. So the Fed steps in and says, we need to squash the demand, right? A good friend of mine, John, said, we need to destroy the demand. People need to stop spending. So what the Fed does is they raise interest rates. And you know why that helps? It makes borrowing money more expensive, right? If you're buying a home now, you realize that. Just with the difference in mortgage from December to now, people are paying $500 a month more for the same house that they bought in December, just because of the impact on the mortgage rates, loan rates. So what the Fed does is it raises interest rates to quell the demand. So many of you know I was in the school system for 35 years. I was a school principal for almost 20 years. And the first school superintendent I worked for was Earl Leonard. And Earl was great. But Earl had a saying that the pendulum never swings to the center. You know what a pendulum is, right? Tie a rope from the ceiling, hangs down, and it's supposed to show gravity, right? Well, if you pick up that pendulum and swings, it doesn't swing to the center. It swings this way, then swings back, then swings back. Well, that's what happens to interest rates. The Fed raises rates, and then finally people say, I've had enough. I'm not going out. I'm not spending money. I'm not going to restaurants. I'm not buying stuff at all. Well, what happens then? Restaurants, well, nobody's coming in to buy food. We don't need all these workers, going to lay the workers off. Stores aren't selling anything, so nothing needs to be made. So factories shut down or lay off workers or furlough workers. Stores aren't selling anything, so we don't need as many employees. So they start laying off, right? So when you have a pullback in production and you have an increase in unemployment, you know what that's called? Recession, right? Recession. Things start coming down. So what does the Fed do to combat recessions? They lower interest rates because people want to go out and spend more money because now money is cheaper to borrow. And so when people start spending more money, they go out to restaurants. Restaurants have to hire people back. Stores have to hire workers. Factories have to get back online, right? So this pendulum swings back and forth. Now, what the Fed is trying to do now, it's called a soft landing. Can they quell demand to the point that we don't go into a recession? And that's always, the question. Can we have a soft landing without recession? And only time will tell. And when we look back hindsight, we can say, yeah, that worked, or no, that didn't work, right? And I do have some graphs that I want to share with you. I'm looking at my notes, and I didn't write down what graphs I wanted to share with you. So, forgive me for that. So let's talk about mortgage rates. So here's the first graph I want to share with you. So the question is, if we go into a recession, what does that do to the housing market? If things pull back, then you would think the housing market would drop. You know what? That's not true. Because what did I just say? If a recession starts, the Fed is going to lower interest rates, cheaper to borrow money, people start buying homes. And so this graph I want to show is the Case-Shiller index, and this shows home prices. And in the gray bars, those are times of recession. And really, the only time home prices dropped was in that 2008 period where you had the banking crisis, right? A lot of people had bought homes and their credit score wasn't high enough. So the market was flooded with homes on the market. There were more homes than there were buyers. And so the price dropped. Well, now it's different because my light just went out. But not my light here, my light there. It's different now because to qualify for a loan, the credit limits are so much higher. The criteria to borrow money is so much tighter. Add on to that, the supply is so low. And this is the second graph I want to show you. Look at the supply. I've gone back to 2018 and look at the supply of homes actively on the market. You can see we are way below average, right? Unless we're in a new average now. But there's so many buyers right now and so few homes, we still have multiple offers on homes. Now again, why are people wanting to buy a house? Because rents are becoming so expensive. People are saying, why am I paying $2,300 a month for rent when I could pay that for a house and own a house? Well, home prices have gone up, so it's really not $2,300, right? So people are caught between the rent and buying a home and lack of inventory. Rates are going up. And so how are you to know whether rates are going to go up or not? Well, one thing to do is to track the 10-year Treasury yield, the 10-year bond. And this is the third graph I want to show. So the yellow line is the 10-year Treasury yield. Yields go up, yields go down, and it is tracked daily. The blue line underneath shows the mortgage rates over that same period. And so you can see as the 10-year bond goes up, mortgage rates go up. As the 10-year bond goes down, mortgage rates go down. So a good way to know whether rates are going to go up or go down is to keep track of the 10-year Treasury bond, 10-year Treasury yield. And that'll tell you where mortgage rates are going, right? So even if we're going into a recession, I'm not saying we are. I'm not an economist, and I did not say to Holiday Inn Express. If we're going into a recession, we might see home prices stabilize. Well, the home market will still be very solid. I said this last week, I do not expect home prices to drop, only because the inventory is so low compared to buyer demand. Buyer demand is still out there. And so until we get 4 or 5 months of inventory on the market, so that's about 3 to 4 times what it is right now. If you recall last week, I said there were almost 300 homes on the market in South Tampa. We need to get to 1,500, right? So 12 to 1,500 homes. It'll be a normal market. Prices will stabilize. For that to happen, people have to put their home on the market. They have to have a place to go. So listen, if you're one of those, you have a home, you're going to sell it, please call me. Let me see if I can help you. I'm not saying I can't help you, but if I can, let's talk. If you're a buyer, you've just got to be patient, right? The right home will come along at a certain time. If you're looking for an agent, reach out to me. I'll send you one of my buyer's guides, and I'll see what I can do for you, okay? I'm here to be your trusted advisor. That's why I shared this information with you. I want you to know I know what I'm talking about. Unless you're an economics professor at the university and no, I'm an idiot. I'm not. So, hey, reach out to me. I love sharing this information with you because South Tampa, Florida living is awesome.